If humans could touch the center of the Earth, what would they find? Fire? Darkness? Something unknown? Right now, deep in the deserts of China, a machine is slowly drilling straight down into the planet. Not a few meters, not a few hundred, but thousands of meters into solid rock. Deeper than any building is tall, deeper than mountains are high. And the real question is, why? Because this is not just a hole, it is a journey into a place humans have never truly reached before. Beneath your feet, the ground feels solid, safe, permanent. But the truth is, the Earth is layered like an onion. The surface we live on is just a thin shell. Under it, things become hotter, darker, and far more dangerous. China has started drilling one of the deepest boreholes ever attempted. Their goal is to reach over 10,000 meters into the Earth's crust. That is deeper than most commercial drilling projects, deeper than almost anything humans have done on land. At first, it sounds simple. Drill down, keep going. But the deeper you go, the more the Earth fights back. At just a few hundred meters, the temperature begins to rise. Rocks become harder, pressure increases, machines start to struggle. Now imagine going thousands of meters down. Heat builds up to extreme levels. Metal tools begin to weaken, sensors fail. Even the strongest drill bits can break. So why push so far? Because deep underground, there are secrets. The first reason is energy. Hidden beneath the Earth are massive reserves of oil and natural gas. These fuels power cities, industries, and entire economies. The deeper you drill, the more likely you are to discover untouched resources that have never been accessed before. China is one of the largest energy consumers in the world. To keep its economy running, it needs a steady supply of fuel. Finding new sources underground means less dependence on imports. It means control, stability, power.
But energy is only part of the story. The second reason is science. The Earth's crust is still full of mysteries. We know surprisingly little about what lies deep below us. Most of what scientists understand comes from indirect data, like seismic waves from earthquakes. Drilling allows researchers to physically reach these layers, to collect real samples, to study materials that have been untouched for millions of years. Each layer tells a story about how the Earth formed, about how continents moved, about how life evolved. And sometimes these layers reveal something unexpected. Strange minerals, unusual gases, even microscopic life forms that survive in extreme heat and pressure. Life that exists without sunlight. Life that challenges what we thought was possible. As the drill goes deeper, the risks increase. The temperature underground can rise beyond 150 degrees Celsius. At these levels, electronics start to fail, lubricants break down, steel loses strength. Every meter becomes more difficult than the last. Then there is pressure. The deeper you go, the heavier the rock above. This creates enormous force that can crush equipment. Imagine being under thousands of meters of stone pressing down on you. That is the environment these machines must survive. And yet, the drilling continues. The project is not just about reaching a number. It is about testing limits, engineering limits, scientific limits, human limits. There is also a strategic reason behind it. Deep drilling technology is not easy to master. Only a few countries have the ability to drill at extreme depths. By developing this capability, China is proving its technological strength. It is showing the world that it can operate in environments that are incredibly difficult and dangerous. This matters not just for Earth, but beyond.
The same knowledge used to drill deep underground could one day be used in space exploration, on other planets, on moons, places where conditions are even more extreme than here. But as the drill moves deeper, something interesting happens. The Earth becomes less predictable. At certain depths, rocks can behave strangely. Instead of being solid, they can become almost plastic, slowly flowing under pressure. This makes drilling unstable. Holes can collapse, equipment can get stuck, entire sections can be lost. There have been past attempts at extreme drilling that ended in failure. One of the most famous examples reached just over 12,000 meters before it had to stop. The temperature became too high. The rock began to behave unexpectedly. The drill could go no further. China is trying to push beyond these limits. And this is where the story becomes more intense. Because the deeper you go, the closer you get to something most people never think about. The boundary between the Earth's crust and the mantle. This boundary is called the Mohorovičić discontinuity, or simply the MOHO. It marks a major change in the composition of the Earth. Above it, the crust. Below it, the mantle, a region of extremely hot, dense rock that slowly moves over time.
No human has ever reached it by drilling. Reaching the Moho would be one of the greatest achievements in Earth science. It would provide direct evidence of what lies beneath the crust. It would answer questions scientists have had for decades. China's project is not expected to reach the Moho yet, but it is a step closer than before, and each step matters.
As drilling continues, researchers collect data constantly. Temperature readings, pressure levels, rock samples, gas emissions. Every piece of information helps build the clearer picture of what is happening below. But there is another side to this story, a more unsettling one. Deep drilling can sometimes trigger unexpected events. When you drill into the earth, you change pressure conditions. You release trapped gases, you disturb natural structures that have been stable for millions of years. In rare cases, this can lead to small earthquakes, gas leaks, even blowouts, where pressurized material suddenly escapes to the surface. This is why such projects are carefully monitored, because once you start digging deep into the earth, you cannot fully control what you might encounter. And yet, the curiosity remains stronger than the risk. Humans have always wanted to explore, to go deeper, to see what is hidden. From the deepest oceans to the farthest reaches of space, the goal is always the same: to understand. China's deep drilling project is part of that story, a story of pushing boundaries, of challenging the unknown, of trying to reach a place that has never been touched before. But here's the twist. Even after drilling thousands of meters, we have barely scratched the surface. The Earth's radius is over 6,000 kilometers. The deepest hole ever drilled is just a tiny fraction of that distance, like scratching the skin of an apple without ever reaching the core.
Which means most of our planet remains unexplored, hidden, unknown. So while machines continue to dig deeper, while scientists analyze every sample, one truth becomes clear. We know more about distant planets than we do what lies beneath our own feet. And that raises a final question. If we keep drilling deeper, if we keep pushing further into the Earth, what might we eventually discover? And more importantly, are we ready for what we might find?